As many of you know, I'm trying to get a YouTube channel up and running, and I've got over 60 topics off the top of my head that I'm rolling through. So today again is Monday, November 5th, 2012. I'm in my Sydney clinic in between patients and thought I'd try to push out one more on bottled water. A lot of my patients ask me, do I drink bottled water? What's my favorite kind? What's the safest? Is Fuji water better than Aquafina? What about Daniska? And my answer is not a chance, not once. When I go to parties or I go to anybody's office and somebody hands me bottled water, I usually take it so I'm not disrespectful, but I don't open it or drink it. So watch me carefully, you'll see that it's true. I usually also am packing around one of my own water bottles, usually stainless steel, or an old Nalgene bottle. Yeah, it had BPA, but I used it so many times, or I bought it used, that the BPA is washed out, and the last thing I want to do is replace it for some new, fresh BPA, or some other piece of chemical that I don't even know what it is yet, because there isn't even a report on it. So older is sometimes a lot safer, because all the other junk has been washed out, absorbed, hopefully by somebody else, or it's been in the washing machine, something. Anyway, moving on. Sometimes it's easier to do what we're taught than to investigate the truth. That's my job. I sort through all the movies and the crap and the web and the info and kind of rip out the information for you. Short answer, you don't want to use bottled water. Here's the whys. We believe that bottled water somehow is perceptibly cleaner, safer, better, filtered. The company, the happy shiny company that's trying to make money with their marketing, their labels, and their commercials is trying to do you some kind of favor, saving you with convenience and usability. And yeah, sure, drinking bottled water is probably safer than drinking toxic soda. However, is it really healthy? Not really. What you're going to trade, what you're going to get if you want to watch a movie, there's one called Tapped, there's another one called Flow. But you're going to look at how big companies go into municipalities, pump basically over 40% of all the bottled water industry is tap water. And the nice part about their industry is they don't have to be regulated. Yes, municipalities, the 54,000 municipalities I referenced in my filtered water video, do have to be at least subject to some type of standards. Bottled water has no industry standard whatsoever. There's one person, check it out again, one person, the whole FDA, that's absolutely responsible for oversighting all bottled water. And if you think of how many bottles of water were sold and what's in them and what that contains, and one person's in charge of all that, you got to be crazy if you think they're Johnny on the spot for doing their job. Good morning. This is part 2 of bottled water. Do I drink it and why? Absolutely not. And we're going to get into the whys. There's a lot of money to be made in bottled water. It's over a $10 billion industry per annum. That's B with a billion. And since there's no regulation on bottled water, they can do what they like. You'll see a U.S. watchdog group called Corporate Accountability International says that Aquafina has, even on the label, public water source on it. That by itself should be disturbing because we don't know whose water source they got it from. There's a great article in Reuters magazine or newspaper, July 27th, 2007, which will get into Pepsi disclosing that they use just plain tap water to fill their bottles that we think are really, really great. Vita water is a fun one. Everybody thinks Smart Water and Vita water are super. Vita water has as much sugar as a Coke almost. It has 33 grams of sugar in it. That's 6 teaspoons of sugar. That by itself is disturbing. You can see that there's a group called, who are they? They are Steve Gardner for the Center of Science in Public Interest gets into it. He said they've added vitamins to crap, and it's still crap. Consumers shouldn't have to assume that the front of the label is a lie. You can't deceive in the big print and then tell the truth later. He's the one who sued them in federal court, and the judge actually sided with their group, who Coke is obviously going to appeal it because they need the money or they like the money. Sugar is sugar. You can't, it's like saying, one of the favorite statements I've learned lately is, it's like saying a jelly bean's good for heart disease because it doesn't contain cholesterol. It doesn't mean it is. It just says that it doesn't have cholesterol. That's like saying Vita water is really good for you. It's absolutely not because of all the other stuff they put in there. You want to save money, use your tap water, swallow a vitamin, and you'll get a better thing without all the junk and all the crap, additives and flavorings. Again, don't drink bottled water. If anybody tells you sugar is just sugar, it doesn't matter what type of sugar that they put in their products, you can tell them that's like saying a man's a man and women are women, and there's absolutely no difference between every male and female you've ever met. They're all identical, they're all the same. That is not true. The body does not look at all sugar the same. the difference between plain sugar, table sugar, cane sugar, beet sugar, high fructose corn syrup, crystalline fructose. They're all metabolically different. If you don't believe me, just look around at the humans in the United States over the last 20 years, and there it is. It's very, very different. It's affecting the human population on a diabetes ratio that we won't get into in this video, but I will have a video for diabetes. Tap water is subject to regulation. Whether I agree with or disagree with what the cities put in their water is a whole different story. I've got a water filtration video on that, but the point is at least there's some regulation on it, and they're actually attempting to try to help people, where bottled water doesn't have any of that. What's in the bottle should scare you more than even the water and the sugar, because it has chemicals. For instance, a phthalate is an endocrine disruptor. That means it messes with your hormones. A new study from the Harvard School of Public Health, published in the Journal of Environmental Health, finds bisphenol A, BPA. If you want to just look that up online, you'll see a quandary of things that creates a problem with in your personal metabolic cycle, which means how you burn energy. We can also get it through fracking, plastic, baby toys, the plastic you put on top of any food will have BPA in it, and when you heat it, it comes out. It's widely known that BPA mimics female hormones, estrogen, and affects fertility and promotes cancer. Again, there's thousands of articles. One is in Harvard, and it talks about BPAs and PCBs. Those used to be popular a few years ago, and now it's not PCBs, and now it is phthalates. The spelling on that, if you want to Google it, is PHTHALATES. And now there's a new term that they're adding phthalates to called obesogens, which the consumptions of phthalates basically just make you fat. Emily Sohn at Discovery News magazine, April 28, 2009, talked from the University of Rochester School of Medicine, talked about the specialized yeast they designed. And what they did is they put that yeast in the water bottles to see if there was estrogen. If there was estrogen, the yeast would change color. And they said that 7 of the 9 plastic bottles had a surprising amount of high estrogen content. That's why I take filtered water with me. I put it in my clean canteens or in heavy, trusted bottles, so I don't have to deal with it. The sad part about plastics is that the lower the number on the recycling, the better it is for the earth, the worse it is for you. And the higher the number, the safer it is, if there could be safe plastic, but the worse it is for the earth. So the choices are actually really poor. So that's why I usually generally try to stick with stainless steel. If you have any questions, please give the office an email, office@nuca.info, office@nuca.info. Make it a great week.